They will challenge Biden, but since Democrats were able to keep their control of the Senate, the disruption of government legislation and work is going to be more limited. The Senate is much more important than the House of Representatives. The Senate approves appointments, presidential appointments at the highest level of government, diplomats and judges. So I think that it will require more compromise on the part of the Democrats and the Republicans, and perhaps this is the time to return to the political culture that dominated the United States for centuries, of reaching compromises on important legislation. There's a chance for that in the next 2 years.
Tell me, what are some of the policies this House is going to be pushing forward and the challenges they'll face in implementing them?
Yeah, this is interesting because I think that Biden anticipated that kind of a result in the midterm elections, and therefore he successfully passed the most important legislation of his administration in the last 2 years. For example, the infrastructure legislation, very important after many years of negligence, and the weather legislation, change in weather. This is also something that he was able to pass, and therefore there is not a major challenge, a legislation challenge, waiting for him in the Congress in the next 2 years.
I want to ask you, given that the Democrats have controlled the Senate and the GOP has a very slim majority of the House, can we expect more pushback against Israel's new far-right government and specifically its policies in the West Bank?
So this is also important. I think that had the Democrats kept control over the two houses of Congress, it would have been easier for them to apply more pressure on the Netanyahu new government. But since they will be dividing control of the Congress between themselves, the Republican control of the House of Representatives could check whatever harsh policies or punishment of the Biden administration against Israel. But still, I need to emphasize that until January 2025, Biden is still the president of the United States unless he resigns before. And therefore, especially in terms of foreign affairs, the president is still the dominant power in determining what relations the United States would have with a foreign country. So I think this is going to be a delicate, tight-rope exercises of the two sides to get what they want. And I think this is one of the reasons that Netanyahu is reluctant to appoint Bezalel Smotrich for the position of Minister of Defense.
I want to ask you, Trump announced his run for presidency in 2024. Do the Democrats have a candidate that sounds promising at all?
Yes, first of all, they do. Trump's announcement is very unusual because it's very early. Usually, we have presidential elections coming only in 2024, and usually candidates will declare in mid-2023. Why Trump declared a few days ago? Simply because he wants to avoid charges, legal charges against him. He is being investigated for many problems and violations in New York, for income tax evasion, in directing or participating in the attack of his supporters on Congress on January 1st, 2021, and interference in the elections, 2020 elections in Georgia. So he thinks that if he declares running for president, the legal authorities in the different places would be deterred from charging him. I think, yes, the Democrats could have very good candidates, I am thinking about, for example, Gavin Newsom, who is a very successful governor of California, or Gretchen Whitmer, government of Michigan, very good candidates. The two parties have suffered in recent years from lack of leadership,
right?
Of outstanding leadership.
Absolutely.
But they are good candidates in both parties, and maybe next time we will see them.